friends. Hello, hi, how are you? I'm gonna move this over. My makeup room's a mess. Hello, it's so bad. And I was gonna clean it and then I was like, why didn't I just film first? So first of all, my candle of the day is champagne toast. It was necessary. I don't know if this video is gonna be weird. There's a lot happening right now. Most of you know everything is on fire. And I just would like to make content about makeup. Like I'm very stressed out. The world is very stressed out. Personal things in my life are being affected. Personal things in everyone's life are being affected in a variety of different ways. And I just want to tell you guys my favorite makeup that I've been using to achieve a glowy summer look. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. And we also might be doing a bit of a like get ready with me, a GRWM if you will, and just talking about my favorite products and then just like talking to you guys about life and let's see what's going on. Let's get going. This is my current like holy grail makeup I've been loving. Some of it's new, some of it's old. Just stuff I've been like gravitating towards really heavily for some reason. The first thing I have here is this Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist from Glow Recipe. I'm not a big believer in mists, especially setting sprays. I don't really think they work. Do I have a whole drawer of them? Yes. Do I think they work? I don't know. But I will say, I think this one is very moisturizing. It also smells amazing. And it also, when you use it as a finishing spray, which we're gonna do at the end, provides a really like sheeny, pretty look to a glowier makeup routine. So I've been a big fan of this one, believe it or not. I'm not usually a big recommender of sprays because I kind of think they're not real, but I think these sprays are pretty nice. The next thing I want to show you guys is the Tatcha, the liquid silk canvas. I loved the original silk canvas, the balm, but it wasn't like amazing. It was good. I liked it a lot, but then I tried the e.l.f. balm and it was just so comparable that I was like, why would anyone pay $52 for that first balm? This is amazing. This is like so incredibly moisturizing, blurring. I don't know what they put in this that is like magic. I wish you could see even the difference of like this side of my face versus this side, how it looks. It just makes it so glowy and moisturized and like blurring and ready to just take on any foundation. I've used this multiple times and it's the only primer that I want to grab for lately because it makes my skin so glowy, so blurred, so iconic. So this has been my go-to primer since receiving it because I'm just like, hello, I love it. Let me introduce you. All of you for the past few weeks have been commenting about how glowy my skin looks and how you guys love how my skin looks in videos. That's actually the #1 comment I've been getting is that my base looks really good. And that's a fun change for me because normally it's
your makeup sucks.
So I think it's a fun change to have you guys be really loving how my base looks. And I will tell you the secret to all of that has been, and this I will say before I tell you what this is, it is a little expensive. I think it's worth it because it gives me the actual look I want. But if you guys know any dupes for this product, I would be happy to try them because I really don't want to have to rebuy it at the price it's at, but it's freaking amazing. This is the Hollywood Flawless Filter by Charlotte Tilbury. Oh my God. So Samantha Ravindall was like raving about this last year and I was like, it's just not worth it. All my experiences with Charlotte Tilbury have been like not great. I'm not obsessed with her brand. This, however, is unreal. Some days I will wear this as just a foundation, but it is almost a little too reflective to do that. That's if I'm having like a more natural day. So I'll put this on and then put concealer over things and that kind of mattifies it a little bit because this is very glowy, but it is stunning. I kind of use it as a bit of a like strobing cream or a kind of bright primer. I will say this one is a little bit dark. I got kind of the wrong shade. We're too far in it now to change that. But I did get a little bit of a deeper shade. But for me, my body is a little bit darker than my face just naturally. So it does end up matching my face pretty well. But this stuff, I kind of just like pounce it in with a sponge. This stuff is unreal. It makes your skin so glowy and beautiful. And it shines through under foundations. You don't really have to worry about blending it out too well. I kind of just haphazardly slap it on all over my face and then kind of see where we're going with it. But this stuff is freaking amazing. 10 out of 10 is how my skin has been so glowy underneath foundations lately. So as I've been getting more into glowier makeup, I remembered my fave. This is the Makeup Revolution Stick Foundation. If you've been around for a while, you remember my absolute obsession with this foundation stick. I was obsessed, okay? And I ran out of it and then I just never rebought it because I don't know, it's $9. I don't know why I didn't rebuy it, but I didn't. And then I was in Ulta the other day and I saw that Makeup Revolution, it was like buy two, get one free or something with their products. And I was like, oh, I should rebuy the stick foundation. I used to love that foundation. Why did I stop using it? I don't know why I stopped using it. Am I stupid? This is such a good foundation. The fact that I have been living without this foundation in my life for this long now makes me genuinely upset because it's so good. Like I don't know how beauty gurus use these clips to keep their hair back. Am I the only one who has like insane baby hairs?
Is it just me?
This foundation is so good. It's a fantastic sort of satin-like finish, which I really, really like, and it pairs beautifully with the Charlotte Tilbury kind of primer. And because my skin has already been really smoothed out by the Tatcha base, overall, this ends up making my skin just look so flawless. Like, that's the best way to describe it, is flawless. It really makes my skin look flawless. I have that TikTok playing in my head that's like,
bitch, I'm a boss.
all right, so let's talk about life while I'm blending this. Hi, how's everyone doing? Are you guys okay? I feel like everyone's like not okay right now, which is totally understandable with a lot of scary stuff's going on. I can only really speak personally for me. I am in New York right now. I'm in upstate, not the city. I know the city is going through a lot more than we are, but my colleges have now officially switched to being completely 100% online, which for me, because I am a commuter and I'm a kind of an unconventional student because I'm a little bit older, it's not like a massive change for me having to go online. And I already had one class this semester that was online, so I've already been doing that. So it wasn't a crazy change, but I think what's been weird about it is like the lack of communication, because my college wasn't really communicating with us. And at first I was really mad about that. I was like, why are they not telling us a plan? Because nobody was really telling us like what was going on. And then I found out that our Governor Cuomo, made the announcement that they were closing all of, I'm a part of the SUNY school system, which is basically just state colleges. They're a lot cheaper to attend, and they provide a really good level of education while being affordable. I love the SUNY system. I think it's great. We're very lucky to have it in New York. But I guess the governor made the decision to close all of the SUNY schools without first, like making that announcement, without first informing the SUNY schools that that was going to happen. So all of the schools and colleges were kind of left like not knowing what to do because they weren't ready to make that announcement because they didn't know it was happening. That kind of just first and foremost was my first taste of like, wow, nobody knows what's going on, huh? Because like we were emailing our professors and like we were trying to figure stuff out, and they were like, honestly guys, like we don't know either. Like the president was not prepared. They basically sent an email out to us being like, we were not prepared to do this. And I think everyone's just kind of doing the best they can, which is all you can really ask for in situations like this that are like really stressful. I'm gonna use, this is kind of an older product, but it's still been my favorite. This is the Makeup Forever Ultra HD concealer. This is kind of an older concealer. It's been around for a little while, but I don't know why people don't hype this up more. This is such a good concealer. It has a more like liquidy texture, if that makes sense. You know how some concealers have like cake and then others are like super thin? This is a really good medium coverage concealer. It's kind of, to me, like an upgraded formula from the First Aid Beauty Bendy Avocado concealer that I loved a couple years ago. This is like an upgraded version of that just because I think it blends in a little bit more seamlessly than that one used to. I've been loving this. I'm gonna rebuy this for sure. I feel like that's like the ultimate compliment to me. It's like, I'm gonna rebuy this because I never rebuy makeup. I hate rebuying things. So if I'm gonna rebuy it, it means I really depend on it. I am currently a senior in college. I'm about 8 weeks away from getting my bachelor's. I realize not all majors have to do internships. To get our degree, we have to do a really long internship. It's actually a year-long joint internship. So I've been at this internship since August of 2019, and I was supposed to finish in May of 2020. Part of this year kind of thing that we were working on this year, it's kind of like our capstone or our thesis, big project that we had to finish our degree, is called a macro project. So what we were planning was we had to do some sort of like big event, or we had to plan some sort of, mine was going to be, I guess I can talk about it now because it's not happening. I've been planning it. Mine was supposed to be, I worked in a urban school setting. My role was working with the social worker, and my macro project idea was to do an educational class to the kids at my placement, how to have a safe online footprint. So the dangers of, you know, dangerous things that are happening in the world. Basically, if you watch my TikTok video, it was going to be that, just talking about how social media can be really dangerous, talking about the effects of of bullying over social media, talk about the legal ramifications that you could possibly get in trouble for by misusing social media, and just a general education class on social media. And I was going to take those results and then bring them to the superintendent and then try to implement them across the entire district because I think it's really important. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you know that kids on social media is a bit of a passion for me. And I was really excited about that. And then we found out yesterday that my placement will be closed indefinitely and I cannot go to my placement anymore. So we're trying to coordinate all of that with everyone and trying to, our professors are sending us like remote placement ideas that we can do and kind of things we can do independently. Our macro projects for a lot of us are, I mean, this is not just me, like pretty much everyone in my program is being impacted by it. Our professor is kind of desperately trying to help us figure out how we can do a different version of a macro project that will still count. I've been loving the Revolution the loose setting powder. I have mine in light pink, really brightening and nice. I've only been setting my under eyes and leaving everything else. My under eyes and like around my nose and mouth I've been setting with powder. I'm kind of leaving everything else a little bit more dewy, but my under eyes need the help. So our professors are being amazing and they're really trying to like scramble to help us figure out what we're gonna do. But it is definitely a little bit stressful. I know they're not just gonna be like, oh, there was a pandemic, guess you're not getting a degree. This is the Marc Jacobs Glow Away Bronzing Coconut Stick. Amazing. This is literally, so first of all, it's freaking huge. Like this is massive. This stick is so big. There's a ton of product in it. I feel like this is gonna last me forever. And you really just need like a dot in the places that you want to go. So I kind of do like light dabbing motion. I think if you were to like drag it, it would be way too much product. I kind of just do a little dot where I want to go, around my jawline a little bit. Now I'm just gonna blend this out with a sponge. I feel really bad for the kids who are like freshmen in colleges and are, you know, or sophomores or live in the dorms, or because for me it's like I'm just stuck at home now, but at least I still am like, you know, independent. I can go see my friends if I want to because they all live near me. And like there's kids who are like so the sad ones are like people who were dating somebody and now the person lives out of state. So they in one day had to like pack up, say goodbye and leave for an undetermined amount of time. It's definitely uprooting a lot of people's lives. It was really sad too because the high school that I went to, I'm still friends with a lot of people like the teachers and stuff on Facebook. And I found out last night that the musical they had been working on, I did the musicals when I was in high school. So that's why this made me sad, but the musical they had been working on right before curtain went up, like right before the show was about to happen, it had to be canceled because of the state of emergency that was declared. You couldn't have more than like 50 people. That's our rule, is you can't have more than 50 people in one place. So it got canceled right before the curtain went up. And I just like can't imagine how sad that would be for kids who like worked so hard. I know it's important, but I think it's also important to acknowledge how much it's like, it does suck for people. At the end of the day, my boyfriend and I, well, my fiance, sorry, I know people are like, Hannah, but it's hard to make that adjustment. My fiance is immunocompromised from a medication he has to take for his disability. We are being a lot more paranoid than I think a lot of people might be. And that's just because we know that it's disproportionately affecting people who are immunocompromised. So because that's his situation, we're pretty nervous, even though it's actually interesting because we work in the same district. So the school's getting canceled was really bad for me, but for him, it's like a blessing because that means that he doesn't have to go to work and risk getting super sick. Whereas for me, it's like, oh my God, am I gonna get my degree now? So it's kind of interesting, the two sides of the spectrum here. He's not even just like, oh my God, I get a break, I don't have to go to work. He's like, thank God I don't have to put my life at risk, which I think is where a lot of people are at right now. I saw a really interesting article from the Washington Post that had a really good information on why it's gonna be so important for us to, you know, social distance and like self-quarantine and stay home as much as you can, not gather in large groups. And I'll link that down below because I thought it was really informative, and it kind of like better put into a picture for me of why it's so important for us to be staying home, even though it is really inconveniencing and even though it is really sad at some points. I'm gonna use this ColourPop blush stick. This is in the shade Hen Party. I got this in PR from ColourPop. Thank you, ColourPop. And I'm going to put this has been a cream blush that I've really been liking. It blends out really easily, and it's also easy to build up. I think the other thing too throughout all this, I know everybody's really freaked, but just remember to like be nice. I think the thing I'm really scared about, especially where I live, a lot of my kids who I've been working with, I know for a fact that the only meal they get in a day is at school. That's been a challenge for, you know, me and, you know, my the people I work with, and everybody is kind of being like, how do we make sure kids are still getting fed even if they're not coming to school? And I know they're trying to work out some plans right now, which is really good. But I mean, I also know it's like, we have kids who their parents literally cannot stop going to work. They have to go to work. Even though it's important to be like, hey, social distance if you can, the big emphasis is on if you can. Because if you can't, what are you supposed to do? Because now your kids have to be home. They can't go to school. And daycares are closing. You know, everything is closing. I think for me, like outside of YouTube, like from a social work perspective, it's trying to find ways to make sure that my kids are still being taken care of and not being disproportionately affected by this. Like I know that they will be. So that's just another aspect of it too. There's so many sides of this whole thing. So what I've been using for my brows, I've been loving this. It was just on sale at Sephora. I don't know if it's still on sale, but I picked it up because it was on sale and I'd always been kind of interested. I had a sample when it first came out and I really liked it. So I bought the full size. It is called the Urban Decay Brow Endowed. This is so freaking easy. It makes doing your brows so easy. They have a primer side and then a color side. So what I do is I take the primer side. This is all I've been doing to my brows. And everyone's been like, oh my God, your brows. I do nothing to them. I run the primer through and it makes them look kind of grayish. Don't worry, that's normal. Okay. And then we're going to go on this side. We're going to go to the color side and kind of make sure you wipe it off a little bit because it does tend to be a little bit hyperpigmented. I usually start in the middle and start working my way from there because if I start right at the edge, it's just way too pigmented. And I just kind of, and then I brush when I have a little less pigment. I'm all about like doing my brows the absolute easiest way that I can. Brows can be so stressful. I feel like they make or break a look sometimes. So if I can find a quick and easy way to do my brows, I am a happy camper. This stuff is, I'm in the shade, a lot of you guys asked the shade. I'm in the shade Rurdao. I think it's a really good shade match. I've been loving the ColourPop Coconuts palette. I got this in PR as well, and I've been using it a bunch to create really just simple, neutral makeup. I need simplicity in my life at the moment. I'm just gonna do a really quick look with this. I'll kind of show you guys what colors I'm using, but it's times like these where it's like, I know it's really scary, and it's nothing like this has ever really happened before, especially to this much of a scale, like a global scale. So I know it's a lot of uncertainty, and I get why people are scared. Should I be creating content, I guess? I asked this on Twitter, but I think it'd be good to pose the question here as well of, do you guys want me to keep posting content as usual? Because I think for me, it's like, I see it as I would be helping provide people a little bit of escapism because we're all like stuck at home. Everybody's really stressed out. And I've been pretty heavily reliant on YouTubers who make content to kind of take my mind off of it because I think YouTube is a really good form of escapism, especially when Netflix gets boring. On the flip side, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm just like, oh, everything's great in the world, like la-di-da, everything's grand. It's like, I know everybody is like being affected by this in one way or another. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm just like ignoring problem and I'm like, here's my favorite makeup. Like I am taking this really seriously. I know it's really difficult for a lot of people and it does stink. But at the same time, I don't know. So I guess the question would be to you guys, I could keep posting just like the same amount of content I do now and not trying to overdo it, but also I'm gonna be home and I don't have a lot to do. So I'm also gonna be kind of bored and could use a little bit of, you know, doing this and trying to at least do something to make people feel better. Because I think that's the other thing too. It feels really helpless in this situation, you know? I feel like it's hard not to feel kind of helpless and kind of like there's nothing you can do. So I think it's from a creator standpoint, it's kind of nice to know that maybe I could be brightening some people's days by uploading. But I don't know. I want to get your guys' opinion. A lot of you on Twitter said it might be a good idea to like add wash your hands at the end of all my videos, but I also feel like the wash your hands thing has turned into a meme and I don't want people to think I'm like memeing it because I don't think it's funny at all. I have never really found the coronavirus memes to be particularly amusing, but the shade Cocoa Crush is freaking unreal. It's so pretty. I really love ColourPop. When I'm doing like a bronzy look like this, I like to do a bit of an informal cut crease, just really a lazy cut crease, I guess. I'm trying to be fancy with it. It's a lazy cut crease because I think the distribution of glitter and just getting the glitter all in the mattes can actually create a really pretty like summery bronze effect. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. I feel like not having glitter perfectly placed can actually end up being really pretty sometimes. This is my Fenty mascara, Holy Grail. This has been like one of my favorite mascaras to use lately. You really gotta wipe it off though because it is kind of goopy. Like, come on. Are you kidding? Such a good natural mascara. All right, now I'm gonna take a little pencil brush. I'm just gonna throw like this in the crease. Nothing crazy. Or not the crease, the lower lash line. I like to put a little color on my lower lash line just to kind of pull the whole look together. I think it's really important too that we just like stay kind to to one another. Don't like punch somebody for a box of rice, please. And also stay informed from reliable news sources. I can't stress that enough. I am not a reliable news source. Twitter is not always a reliable news source. Everything you see on Twitter is not always the truth. So just make sure you're staying as informed as you possibly can from sources that are reliable, because I think that's really important. There's a lot of misinformation happening, which there's always going to be. Marc Jacobs gel liner has always been my favorite liner ever. I think this has been about 3 years of this being a holy grail status, so there's always going to be misinformation when stuff like this happens, but I think it's just important to try not to feed into it too much and don't like spread it. The worst is when you see people spreading articles that are so obviously like not true, or like using this to promote their personal agenda. Like I saw one girl who's vegan who was like saying that if you're a meat eater, you're like 35 times more likely to get the coronavirus. It's like, stop it. Stop it. Let's do highlight. Okay. After I talked about this on Yasser Pass, you guys were all like, you have to buy it. So this is a little bit newer, but I used the shade Glow Getter the past few days. It's amazing. I normally do not like the Anastasia highlighter palettes. Like the glow kits are not my favorite. I think I decluttered most of them. I do like, are you freaking kidding me? I've been also bringing my highlighter down. I don't know how this looks in person, but I will say if you're gonna be filming or taking pictures in the sun, this looks awesome. In person, it might look a little too freaky glowy, but like I've been loving it. I don't normally like the glow kits. I do like Dream and like the purple ones, Aurora and Moonchild. I like all those, but I've never really liked the more natural formulas. And then I tried this one and I am so shocked at how much I love this. I never wanna stop wearing Glow Getter. I understand why I see people who have like panned this now, because I don't want to stop using it. I can hear Charles yelling at Oliver, so I think he might have just pooped. You know, just puppy things. I'm gonna add a little bit of 143. No. Oh, I want to use them all. They're all so pretty. Let's try 143. I have seen a lot of people saying that this does break in transit though, so just be careful. Ready to repress if you need to, because ABH's customer service is not the best. Wow, this look turned out great. I love how this looks. This is very much like what I've been doing every single day. This is so random. I feel like all the products in this are really random, but like this is the Pure Barbie lipstick. This is in the shade Classic, and it is like, I've used this a ton. I won't lie. I bought this initially because it was on sale and I was like, pretty, because like the packaging, but I have used this more than any other nude lipstick that's like a bullet lipstick that I own. It's been my go-to. It's just a really good classic. Applying lipstick with your non-dominant hand is easily the hardest thing I've ever had to do since my wrist has been broken. I will say there's like this kind of glitter around it. Like there's like a glitter film over a lot of it, but it's a matte lipstick. So I don't know how that works. One day maybe I'll hit the glitter, I don't know. And then finally, I have been loving the Luxe glosses from ColourPop. I just ordered a couple more of these because they did send me this one. Love it. They've redeemed themselves for me because I hated their So Juicy glosses so much that this is like 100% a redemption. We'll let the hair down. Do you guys do your hair before your makeup or your makeup before your hair? I always do my makeup before my hair and then I do my hair after my makeup. I don't know why, that's just always how I've been. I'm gonna use the watermelon mist to just kind of give everything a little bit of a glow. And now we're glowing and we're done. And this is how I do my very glowy, summery, bronzy makeup. This is like really exactly what I do pretty much every day lately. It's not summer yet, but I want it to be desperately. I don't even really like summer. I think I'm just over what's happening right now. So I want it to be something fun, which is like summer. To everyone being affected, I'm so sorry. You know, we're all in this together. I know it sucks. Please take this seriously. Because people really are dying. I hate the mentality of like, oh, it's only old people. It's like, yeah, well, that's somebody's grandparents. That's somebody's mom, somebody's dad. Like, we can't act that way about other human beings. We can't be so flippant about other human lives. We have to do our part to help populations that are at risk, which right now include my boyfriend, my fiance, sorry. Do you have anything to say about the coronavirus?
Huh?
Do you have anything to say about the coronavirus?
Self-quarantine.
Self-quarantine. Just take it seriously if you can, because we kind of need it. But well, I love you guys so much. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. Honestly, just so happy here. Oliver, what are you doing up here? He's so big. How did he get this big? How did this happen? How did this happen to you? Anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope you like this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, or just subscribe, or do neither. I'm honestly just so happy you're watching me. Thank you so much for being here. My merch, my social media, and everything I just put on my face will be linked down below, along with a link to register to vote. That's right. Yeah, you can click on that link, you can register to vote, and you can be part of your democracy. And you can also, after you do that, you could go vote. That would be fantastic. And if you're not from the United States, that link does not apply to you. Please make sure you're staying informed on what's going on in your part of the world. Make sure you're using your voice in a positive way because the world absolutely needs more of that. Make sure you're being kind to each other because it is more important now than it ever has been. I love you guys so much. Oliver, do you want to say anything? That's really great. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!